What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please share and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't love the content, you can still do those things because you could always help a brother out, and a brother would definitely always help you out. Make sure that you comment because I love to have conversations in the comment section. Ball is life. We got to make sure we do that. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. And lastly, hang on towards the end because there's some other suggested videos that we know you will love. With that said, Ricky Rubio, haven't heard that name in a while, but he was a highly touted basketball player coming out of Spain, had an okay NBA career, never really turned into an all-star like some people thought he had the possibility of doing, but he was a pretty good player, and he stayed around for a little bit of time. I always liked Ricky Rubio. I thought he was a pretty good player, but he came out and said some stuff recently that really caught my attention, and I don't know if you've picked this up yet by following my channel, but yes, this is a sports channel. I love sports, but I also believe very heavily in motivation and character, right? Who you are as a person to me matters. And the qualities that I can look at a person and say, okay, these are the good qualities, these are the bad qualities, and that allows me to make my decision on whether or not, I really appreciate you or I just think you're, a clown out there wasting people's time. And that doesn't mean you have to be the best player ever. That doesn't mean you can't make any mistakes. That doesn't mean you can't make horrible mistakes. But who you really are shines through in your character, because those who have strong character make adjustments. They make changes. They become better. Those who have, bad character never make changes. They never make adjustments. They continue to do the same dumb things that they've been doing, or the same messed up things that they've been doing. And, I personally have had a lot of issues with the game of basketball, specifically in the last 10 years. And I've told people about it. I've explained to people why I have issues with what I see. And some people get it. I think a lot of people get it. And then there's others that just constantly make excuses for grown men that they wouldn't make for other grown men that were not millionaires. And Ricky Rubio hit the nail right on the head with some of the things that he said. So the first graphic here, the one that we've decided to highlight, specifically says, I never fell in love with the culture or traditions. They've turned the NBA into a show, into a business. How do I know this? Well, I'm not sure if I'll do a video on this. I may or may not. But for example, Cooper Flagg, the number one pick in this year's draft, played 2 games in Summer League. First game was a stinker, didn't play well. Second game had like 30 points. Third game, there is no third game. They decided to sit him for the rest of Summer League. So all the fans that decided to pay whatever money, I don't know if you could pay per game or if you got to pay for the whole series, in Las Vegas. I know they have one in Orlando, I think, too, for Summer League or something like that. All these games that you used to get hyped for to watch the young players, right? He's just going to sit. There's nothing wrong with him. They're just going to sit him. Why? What's the point of that? You, as fans, we pay all this money, whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're watching it on ESPN or you're watching it on Amazon coming up this year, or, wherever you're watching sports, they cost a lot of money to watch and consume. Whether you go to a game or not, you're paying money to watch them play somehow, some way. You're supporting these people. You're buying their jerseys. You're buying their sneakers. All of these different things. And they just decide to sit him. Why? Because it's turned into a show. It's turned into a business. It's no longer about basketball. And they use these excuses like, oh, well, the team shut him down. That's why he's not playing no more. He has to listen to the team. Could you shut Michael Jordan down? How about Kobe Bryant? You think you could shut down Magic Johnson or Larry Bird? Isaiah Thomas, if he was healthy? Think you could shut down Dennis Rodman? Just tell him he's not going to play anymore? Even Dennis. What about some of the tougher people of all time? What about What about Ben Wallace? You think you could just shut Ben Wallace down? Ben, you're not playing no more. Sit down. For no reason? The list goes on with a bunch of people I thought were really true competitors. There's a few. Think you could sit KG down? Just tell him to sit down? Not play no more? Paul Pierce? Rugged guys like that? I don't think that happens. I don't think you just sit those men down. But now we live in an era where you can shut these guys down and they, well, the team wants me to do it. If you told them I don't give a dang, I'm going out on that court, do you think they'd stop you? I don't know. But Ricky Rubio has a point here. The game has turned into a show, into a business. Why is that a problem for me? Because you let one person load manage, then the next person load manages. I think Ace Bailey sat out. I don't know if it's because Utah told him to or if he just decided to, because he don't really want to play there anyway. He wasn't even going to show up. He didn't even go to the draft or something like that. Whatever he was doing, he wasn't trying to show up and play in Utah and all this stuff. Whatever. Entitlement. But then you have grown men on the backside of that will sit there and make excuses for these men and say, oh, well, they're protecting the bag or something dumb like that, man. And you sit there and you say to yourself, well, what does that have to do with us as the fans? We're consuming the content. We're paying good money to consume the content. If you're not hurt, why the heck aren't you playing? I'm not sure how that. I'm not really sure how that's good for us as fans. But you see men like, yeah, they did the right thing. He sat him there. That was a smart choice. What? For a fan, the smart choice is put them out there so we can see them play because we paid for it. This is the society that we're living in now. I don't understand it. Moving on. There's a couple graphics here. I didn't make friends, just teammates. I've seen lots of teammates with despotic attitudes. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what that word means. I'm pretty sure I said it right, though. Let's and why does he even know that word? He's from Spain, right? He was despotic? What does the word despotic mean?
Here's the definition of despotic.
I said it right.
Of or typical of a despot. Tyrannical.
Tyrannical behavior. Oh, what a word. I've seen lots of teammates with tyrannical attitudes. And I'm not able to say, you don't talk to a waiter like that. How am I going to say that to a teammate? I just keep quiet and witness attitudes or behaviors that aren't right. This is another thing I've been saying for a long time. Again, if you're a fan and you praise the bad attitudes of these people, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like, if they treat fans badly, if they don't respect the fans, if they make fun of the fans, if the fans have a complaint or they see something wrong and these guys instantly want to turn it into just be a fan, shut up and be quiet or something like that, and you're not even saying something really bad, he's right, man. And I've seen these behaviors, this diva behavior that a lot of these guys have. Now, is it everybody? No. I'm liking what I see from SGA. I like what I see from Jason Tatum. I like Jaylen Brown. I like Halliburton, and I was not a fan. I have a video of it. But I have recently, I got to say, I like the guy. I really like Jalen Brunson. I like Josh Hart on that team also. I like pretty much all the guys on the Knicks. Seem like solid guys. I like Donovan Mitchell. I like his attitude and approach. He hasn't won yet, and he's had some losses where, even this year, you're like, man, you won all them games and you messed up like that. But you know what? The way he handled the failure is respectable. He didn't blame the fans. He thanked the fans. You know what I mean? Thanked all the people that work hard throughout the course of the year to make that machine go. And there's character there. There's something there that you can build upon where you can respect a man like that. A lot of these superstars of recent years, I don't have that much respect for them. The younger generation, to me, is bringing it back. They're doing things and saying things that make you want to be a fan of theirs. You want to support some of these people. And there's some people that I just absolutely will never support, and I don't support. Some people I supported before that I'll never support again, because it doesn't matter to them. They expect your support regardless of anything they do or say. And I'm one of those people that will take my support away immediately. I'm not a groupie. I'm not infatuated with these men. I just like basketball. I could take or leave you as a person. And if you feel the same way about me, then I'm out already. And I wish more fans, more people listening to this channel, if you're not already, would have that same attitude. Our loyalty doesn't have to be given to these people. You're running from team to team, load managing, taking shots at the fans, complaining all the time about playing 82 games. Stuff like that is disgusting to me. You're a millionaire. To play basketball, you didn't create an app that blew up. You didn't start a YouTube channel from scratch like I'm trying to do. You were probably born much bigger and taller than other people. And so you had a free route to basketball. Now, are you better than a lot of other people? Have you had to compete? Do you have to work for your spots? Yeah. Am I saying you're not an excellent player in some cases? No, I can't say that. But somewhere along the line, you forgot to be humble. And I personally, I'm not going to be there to feed your ego and make you feel special if I think you're not a person of high character. Let's move on to the next section here for Ricky Rubio. Often, they don't even realize they are stuck in a character, in their ego, in the locker room. You hear nonsense like, what kind of car do you drive? Are we really competing over who has the better car? That won't make me a better person. So, this one I thought, I'm gonna be honest, I think he reached a little bit here. I'm not gonna be mad at a guy that has a lot of money, you know, talking about his car. That's not gonna bother me too much. I get it. But do I think these guys have any real substance to them besides their car? In some cases, no. I don't. And that's just, but that's a microcosm of society in America in general, in my opinion. People in America talk about getting the bag. They talk about, you know, we've lost a lot of our character, who we are as people here. We worry about things that don't really matter as much. We glorify people that treat people badly, that want to start fights, that act ratchet and ghetto and ignorant. And that's not a color thing, ladies and gentlemen. Mainly gentlemen. Might be one or two ladies listening. That's not a color thing. That's an attitude thing. Your attitude makes you ignorant, makes you ghetto, makes you ratchet, makes you trailer trash, or whatever the case may be. Your attitude and how you handle yourself make you those things, not your color. So, I mean, if you want to talk about what kind of car you drive in a locker room, again, that's not really gonna bother me as much. However, you have to understand the first two things Ricky Rubio said to understand what he's trying to say here, which is that it's not about anything of substance. It's not about becoming a better teammate. It's not about how can I help my teammates. It's not about how can, you know, what's going on with your family, what's going on with your family life, how are the kids, if you even are with the mother of your kids, unfortunately, in these settings. Now, they're probably talking about how many baby mamas you got, how many chicks you got in this city or that city. And again, that's not a color thing. Don't get it twisted. Don't listen to this and think, oh, he's talking about this color or that color. That's not a color thing. Professional athletes, a lot of them got a lot of stuff going on. Now, you may see it from one color in particular the most because they're the loudest. But that doesn't mean multiple people aren't doing that. And if you look in society in general, it doesn't matter what country in this case, there's a lot of men out there with a lot of power and money doing a lot of shiesty, shady things with chicks. So I respect this from Ricky Rubio, and I personally appreciate it because you sit up here and you wonder and you ask yourself, like, yo, like, why do some people support this bad behavior? And you see it. You see the bad behavior. you see some guys that are just not good people. And some people, I've even seen grown men, again, there's a feminization of men that I'm going to just call out on this channel. And there's a feminization of men where men are acting petty like women, running around in circles in an argument, bringing up these straw man arguments like women. That's what women do. Women are not physical, but they will play mind games with you, right? Hopefully you get you one that does not do that. I was very fortunate. But some of them will play these mind games with you and run around in circles and just aggravate you with straw man arguments. Now men are doing that. They're doing everything but the facts. Everybody's a politician all of a sudden. So when I say to somebody, you know, hey man, like I don't agree with this low management thing. Like we pay good money. Like I want to see people play. Oh, well, you know, the team has to do what's smart for them. It's about business and it's about getting the bag. What business? What bag? Bro, you work at Starbucks. What the heck are you talking about? You don't know nothing about no business, no bag. You've never started your own business. I have. And I can tell you that I still want to start it with character first. And whatever happened to putting the customer first? A lot of these guys just get the money and they don't care about the city they play in. They don't care about the community. They don't care about nothing else. Just about their money. And so many fans have been, dudes specifically, have been feminized into believing, to becoming groupies essentially, where everything these guys do and say is perfectly fine. They're getting the bag. Why do you have to be loyal? Why, you know, it's just stupid stuff. Guy comes to your team, screws up, plays horrible like a Kevin Durant on the Suns, leaves, and you're a Phoenix Sun fan and you still like him? Because he was a coward? Because he cheated you guys out of... This is the same guy that said, I don't want to be a leader. You just want to play basketball. He just wants to score points, look cute out there, go 50, 40, 90, but not win anything. And he deserves your loyalty and your allegiance because of that. And then the feminized guy in the background is like, yeah, you know, he got his bag. Kevin did the best he could. If you look at his stats were perfect. And then in free agent, you know, he decided to leave. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a fan, and they get to step on my face and take a dump on me, and, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm cool with that. Yeah, everything's great, man. I'm gonna follow Kevin Durant wherever he goes, yeah. I'm not exaggerating. That's literally how these dudes sound to me. So, I appreciated this little snippet into NBA life that Ricky Rubio decided to explain, and what made him, you know, unfortunately unhappy at times, because you can't trust these people. And on the way out in closing, something I heard from that I watched, or not heard, watched, I think I saw it on IG. Somebody put up a quote where they said, if you cheat on your wife consistently, or just in general, I guess, in general, why would I do business with a person like that? And you even try to involve me in that and make me aware that you cheat on your wife? Why wouldn't you cheat in business with me? If the most special person in your life supposedly should be your wife, and you cheat on her mercilessly, what does that say about you and your character and how you're going to handle business? And I was so impressed by that, because in 2025, I didn't know there were still some people left that had some standards and morality like that could look at things like cheating and use some basic principles, some Sherlock Holmes clues to decipher that, yo, if he's cheating on his wife like that, or if she's cheating on her husband like that, and I'm doing business with this person, why wouldn't they cheat on me like that? It's a very easy conclusion to come to when you stop sniffing people's farts, because that's literally how I feel like some people, that's the extent of what they're willing to go to just be a supportive, you know, groupie for some of these professional athletes. Not me. If I'm going to support you, if I'm going to respect you, I'm going to need something in return. And so if I don't see it, I'm out. And I don't care. Your money doesn't do anything for me. You're not putting money in my pockets. You're not feeding my family. You don't care about me or my family. You really don't care about anybody based on what Ricky Rubio is saying here. So once I see that, I'm out. And I would encourage the rest of you to do the same thing, because another thing that grown men I've seen recently ask, which is so feminized, why does it matter? Well, I'll tell you why it matters. Men are the backbone of society. We are the ones that hold the standards. When you allow other men to act like baby men or like little girls in their behaviors and their actions and their words, more will do it. More will take the easy shortcut route if you do not call them out. Some of them will be in your family. They will begin to paint their nails. They will become one of those weirdos, right? They will do things that make absolutely no sense. They'll wear dresses, you know. They'll start to have more feminized voices, whatever the case may be. If that's your lifestyle, that's your lifestyle. But if that's not really your lifestyle and that's not what you claim to be, and you're supposedly supposed to be a man worth following, a man worth leading other men, encouraging other men, uplifting other men, guiding other men, then that is a very sacred honor, and it's an honor. And those people need to be held to a very high standard. And they need to maintain that high standard in order for them to be somebody worthy of having that honor of guiding young men. And that's why it matters. That's why we as men have to care and hold a certain standard. When we let that standard go, society falls apart. Women can't hold that line. They don't have the strength to do it. They're not built to do that, in my opinion. It doesn't mean women aren't very important. They're extremely important. Life starts and ends with women. But men have to hold lines. And that's what I feel like the NBA players of old did especially well. The generation that just passed before this new generation did a horrible job of that. And Ricky Rubio was kind of in that mix, to be honest with you, in that generation. And I'm not surprised that it looks like he suffered to try and be a better person within that, you know? And I get it. You know, I get it. So there's definitely, you know, some weird stuff going on with, unfortunately, with some people in the league, and there's a feminization of men, in my opinion, where, you know, they're asking questions that don't matter. Why do you care? Why do you care if a guy paints his nails? Why do you care? Because then every man's going to start painting their nails. Then every man's going to start building super teams and running from team to team and low managing and not caring about the fans, making fun of the fans, disrespecting the fans, running from city to city, taking millions of dollars, wasting everybody's time. Then everybody's going to do that. Then everybody's going to be soft, play no defense like a whole generation of players didn't do until recently in this year's playoffs. Everything is copycat. And if you allow certain men to lower the standards, they will, because they don't care. And if they make the men around them weaker, they will look stronger, even though they're actually weak too. But if they can make the men around them weaker, they will look stronger by default. So I encourage men to always be strong and don't have weak leaders. And just a simple, easy one, like I said before, if a dude is painting his nails and he's trying to tell you what to do, don't listen to him. I'm not doing it. You already showed me that you're a weirdo. You know, and again, your lifestyle is your lifestyle. Your choices are your choices. But if you can't even, if painting your nails is very, very important to you as a man, like we don't have 80 million other things that we need to do, especially if you're a husband and a father. Trying to find a way to support yourself, make money if you're not a husband and a father. Men's value starts when you are able to support a family. If you can't support a family or more than yourself, then you're not there yet. You have work to do. You don't have time to be painting your nails. So with that said, this was a fairly long video, but to me, it's about a topic that matters. I don't know how many people will click on this. This is a video, in my opinion, that some people won't care about. But if you do care about it, it shows there's something in you that cares about character, which for me is extremely important. That's how I base my relationships on, my friendships. All that stuff is based on character. My support, it's all based on character. So thank you very much for listening this long. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you comment. Love to have conversations in the comment section. Am I tripping? Is Ricky Rubio tripping? Does it matter people's character? Does it matter if they're good people? Does it matter how you treat people? Even if you have more money, more resources than them. Does that matter? Let's debate it. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. I thank you very much. Like I said, I truly appreciate your time. I'm very appreciative of your time. And please comment. I will reply. I promise you. Very appreciative, very humble. Much love.
That somehow